Okay, now we are going to discuss about variable production overhead. Generally, when we are discussing about variable production overhead, we have a presumption that variable production overhead vary with direct labor hours. That means if you worked only, variable production overhead will go up. Therefore, the variance computation are similar to direct labor variance computation. But the only change, when we are going to calculate direct labor rate variance, we have to take hours paid, but here we will calculate direct variable production overhead expenditure variance, we will consider actual hours worked, because we assume that variable production overhead will arise when direct labor hours worked only. Okay. If they performed, if they worked, this variable production overhead will arise. Okay, we will move to example number 4. Example number 4 says ABC PLC has estimated to produce 10,000 units in 2020. Variable production overhead cost estimate has given below. Okay. Budgeted variable production overhead 600,000, that means 600,000 divided by 10,000 units, cost will be 60 rupees per unit. Okay. During the period, company has produced 8,000 units and variable overhead will be recognized based on direct labor hours. That means we, as I said earlier, variable production overhead will vary with the change of direct labor hours. The budgeted and actual direct labor hours were given below. Budgeted hours 10,000 units, total hours required 20,000, that is the budgeted, that means each unit required 2 hours. Actual hours paid 17,000, actual hours worked 15,000 hours. Okay, calculate variable production overhead, expenditure and efficiency variance. Okay. Under variable production overhead, expenditure variance, I am not going to calculate total cost variance. Budgeted cost, budgeted variable production overhead was 600,000. This will be vary with direct labor hours. Therefore, budgeted direct labor hours, it has been given 20,000 hours. 20,000 hours. Okay. If you work 20,000 hours, budgeted variable production overhead will be 600,000. Therefore, standard rate will be 600,000 divided by 20, 30 rupees per hour. 30 rupees per hour. The standard rate would be 30 rupees per hour. Okay. Now you need to look at how much. Okay, here it has not been given actual cost. Okay, I will say actual cost is not been given. I will say actual cost. Actual cost I will give. It has not been given here. Actual cost will be 650,000. Okay. Actual cost 650,000. Okay. Now you need to calculate. You have manufactured 8,000 unit. Actual production 8,000. Actual production 8,000. 8,000 units. 8,000 unit. Now you need to work out what is the total cost. Each unit require 2 direct labor hours. Budgeted direct labor hours are 20,000 hours for 10,000 units. Therefore, when you are going to calculate variable production overhead, total cost variance, you have to look at standard variable production overhead for actual production. How much? How to calculate it? You have produced 8,000 units. 8,000 unit. Each required how many hours? 20,000 hours for 10,000 unit. Divide by 10,000, then 2 hours required each. Standard rate 30. Then 16 to 8,000, 480,000. 480,000. Actual cost. Actual cost is being given. Actual cost is given how much? Actual cost 650,000. While looking at the given information, actual cost 650, standard cost should be, if you produce 8,000 unit, its cost should be 480,000, but actual 650. That means you have total variable production overhead cost variance 170,000 as an adverse variance. Total variable production overhead cost variance 170,000 and adverse. Now this will be analyzed into expenditure and efficiency variance. Okay, variable production overhead, expenditure variance. Variable production overhead, expenditure variance. Same as direct labor rate variance, standard rate minus actual rate, but in direct labor rate variance what we have taken, here we have taken hours paid, but I am taking hours worked here, hours worked. Because if you worked only, variable production overhead will arise. Standard rate we have already determined 30 rupees. Actual rate into hours worked, actual cost. Okay, actual cost is given 650. Therefore, hours worked, you need not to consider about hours paid, you need not to consider about hours budgeted. Actual hours worked only 15,000. Therefore, hours worked into actual rate, 15,000 hours we have worked, minus actual rate into hours work mean actual cost. Okay, actual rate into hours work mean actual cost. No need to divide it and take 650. 650. 30 into 100, so 15,000, 450,000 minus 650. Your expenditure variance will be 200,000 and adverse variance. 200,000 and adverse variance. Variable production overhead expenditure variance 200,000 and adverse. Now calculate variable production overhead efficiency variance. Efficiency variance. Now this is very similar to labor efficiency variance. If labor efficiency variance resulted a favorable variance, variable production overhead variance also will be favorable variance if it is changed according to direct labor. Standard hours. Standard hours for actual production. Standard hours for actual production minus actual hours worked. Actual hours worked into standard rate. Actual production was 8,000 units. 8,000 units. Each required how many hours? 20,000 hours for 10,000. Each required 2 hours. Each required 2 hours. Then 16,000 hours are required. Actual hours worked 15,000. Standard rate is 30 rupees per hour. Then efficiency variance will result 30,000 favorable variance. 30,000 favorable variance. Now, if you add expenditure and efficiency variance together, it will tally with total cost variance of 170,000. Okay, that is not a big task. More, the variance computation are very similar to direct labor variance computation. We will have an assumption, presumption, we will have a presumption there, their variable overhead cost will change according to direct labor hours. That is the third cost variance item we have discussed. Okay, that is variable production overhead. Okay, now we will move to the final cost variance analysis, that is fixed production overhead cost variance, fixed production overhead cost variance. Now, generally fixed production overhead cost variance and absorption costing, fixed production overhead will be a part of unit cost, but marginal costing it will be directly charged to profit or loss statement. Therefore, when we are going to have a profit or cost variance reconciliation, there will be a change based on the marginal and absorption costing approach. If we use the absorption costing approach, we have fixed production overhead volume variance, but in marginal approach it is not. We will discuss it later. In this fixed production overhead, we have to keep some important point. When we are going to absorb fixed production overhead, there are different bases we are using. As an example, we can use unit basis, unit of production. We can use direct labor hours, you can use direct machine hours, prime cost, you can take direct labor cost, direct material cost, prime, those are the bases available. But remember, when if we use direct or production unit basis, you can't analyze this volume fixed production overhead volume variance into capacity utilization and volume efficiency. You cannot do it. But if you use basis other than unit basis, you can analyze fixed production overhead volume variance into capacity utilization and volume efficiency. Okay, first we will look at the illustration, example number 5. ABC PLC has estimated to produce 10,000 units in 2020. The following estimates were made. Okay, estimates given. Budgeted fixed production overhead 2 million, budgeted direct labor hours were 20,000 hours. Okay, that is for 10,000 units. During the period, company has produced 8,000 units and following actual details were available. Actual fixed production overhead 1.8 million, actual labor hours work 17,000 hours. Okay, required to calculate fixed production overhead expense and volume variance if fixed production overhead absorbed using unit basis. Unit basis use කළොත් මොකක්ද වෙන්නේ? Expense variance එකටයි volume variance. Only volume variance you can't further analyze into mix and efficiency and capacity variances. Okay. First we will summarize budgeted fixed production overhead, budgeted fixed production overhead 2 million, budgeted production budgeted production 10,000 units, budgeted direct labor hours 20,000 hours. Those are the budgeted information. Now we are going to absorb fixed production overhead based on unit basis. First one we are going to use unit basis. If you use unit basis, you have to calculate standard rate. Standard rate mean we can call absorption rate. Standard rate you can say absorption rate. Absorption equal budgeted fixed production overhead, budgeted fixed production overhead divide by budgeted production, budgeted output. Budgeted fixed production overhead 2 million divide by budgeted output 10,000. Your answer will be 200 per unit. Per unit. Your absorption rate is 200 per unit. Absorption rate 200 rupees per unit. Now, actual production was given how many units? 8,000 units. Actual production 8,000. 8,000, yes. 8,000 unit is the actual production. Okay. Now we will look at number 1. Fixed production overhead expense variance. Simply expense variance is the budget minus actual. Budgeted fixed production overhead minus actual fixed production overhead. Budgeted expenditure 2 million, actual 1.8 million. Okay, difference 200,000, it is favorable. 200,000 expense variance favorable. Now, if we use unit basis, now you have to calculate volume variance. Fixed production overhead, volume variance. You will compare, if we use the unit basis, you will compare actual production against budgeted production, whether you have used your capacity volume effectively or not. Budgeted production into standard rate per unit. Your actual production during the period 8,000 units. 8,000. But you have budgeted how many units? You have budgeted 10,000 units to produce. That means you have manufactured lower than budgeted. Okay. If you manufacture more than budgeted, that means you have optimized your fixed overhead. If you exceed, assume 10, if you produce 12,000 mean you have optimized your fixed production overhead. You have your capacity is 10,000, but you have produced more than the budgeted. But if you produce lower than the budgeted, then always it will generate a negative variance. The standard rate is 200 per unit. Then variance will be 400,000. It is an adverse variance. 400,000, it is an adverse variance. Altogether, net variance will be how much? Net variance will be 200,000 adverse. Total cost variance I have not computed. Even if you wanted to compute, assume third, total fixed production overhead expense, total overhead cost variance, you have to compare it with standard fixed production overhead, standard fixed production overhead for actual production minus actual cost, actual fixed production overhead cost, actual fixed production overhead cost. The standard cost 200 per unit, you have already compared 200 per unit, actual production 8,000, the cost should have been 1,600,000. 1,600,000, but actual cost given here, actual cost 1.8 million. Total cost 200,000 adverse variance. 200,000 and adverse variance. Therefore, now we have calculated based on unit basis. If we change the basis, it will impact the volume computation of volume variance. Now we have to analyze if we use direct labor hour as the basis for overhead absorption, then you can analyze this volume variance into capacity utilization and volume efficiency. Okay, now this is for unit basis application. Remember, put a specific note and write it down. If we use unit basis, you can't analyze volume variance into capacity utilization and volume efficiency variance. Your variance will be limited to expense variance and volume variance, no sub analysis of capacity utilization and volume efficiency. Now we will move to direct labor hour basis. If we use direct labor hour basis, how it will be changed? Okay. Direct labor hour basis, we can use 20,000 direct labor hours will be used for the production, that is the budgeted direct labor hours for 10,000 units. That means each unit may require 2 hours. Okay, I will work out. Now we are using direct labor hour basis. Number 2, direct labor hour basis. Hour basis. Direct labor hour basis. If we use direct labor hour basis, you have to calculate overhead absorption rate or standard rate. How to compute it? Standard rate. Standard rate. Budgeted fixed production, that means simply fixed production overhead absorption rate. Budgeted rate 2 million. Sorry, budgeted fixed production overhead cost 2 million. 2 million divided by budgeted direct labor hours of 20,000 hours. Per hour, what is the standard rate? 2 million divided by 20,000, 100 rupees per hour. 100 rupees per hour. This is the standard rate. Standard rate is 100 rupees per hour. Per unit, how many hours required? You can divide 20,000 hours divided by 10,000 unit. Hourly rate, number of hours, hours per unit, number of hours per unit. 20,000 hours divide by 10,000 units, 2 hours per unit. Okay. Now there won't be any change to expense variance. Expense variance you will always compare with budget minus actual. there is no change in expense variance, but volume variance will get affected. The computation of volume variance is different. Therefore, I will start with fixed production overhead volume variance. Volume variance equal. Now you will compare standard hours for actual production, standard hours for actual production minus budgeted hours, budgeted direct labor hours into standard rate, standard rate. Now fixed production overhead volume variance is how many standard hours? Standard hours kiyak either. Each unit required 2 hours per unit. Actual production 8,000 unit, each required 2 hours, 16,000 hours should have been used for 8,000 unit, that is the standard hours for actual production. Budgeted hours, we have already budgeted 20,000 hours, 20,000. Therefore, it will be a negative or adverse variance. 16 minus 20, 4,000 hours into standard rate of 100. This will be 400,000 and adverse variance. Okay, 400,000 and adverse variance. 400,000 and adverse variance. Fixed production overhead volume variance. Now this volume variance you can analyze into two, not like unit basis. This volume variance you can analyze into capacity utilization and volume efficiency, whether we have underutilized the capacity or overutilized, whether the used capacity is efficiently used or not. Under that, fixed production overhead capacity utilization variance. Capacity utilization variance. You will compare actual hours worked, against budgeted hours. Into standard rate. That means if your actual hours work greater than budgeted hours, mean you have over utilized the capacity, that is good. Okay. Assume this classroom can occupy 100 students, but if you put 200 students to the same classroom without increase in the cost, fixed cost, you have utilized the capacity per unit, cost per student will minimize. Therefore, but remember here actual hours worked only 17,000 hours, but budgeted hours was 20,000 hours into 100, variance is 300,000 adverse, 300,000 adverse. 300,000, it is an adverse variance. It is an adverse variance. Now you have to look at whether use capacity, that means actual hours work, whether use capacity being used efficiently or not. That is, we have to evaluate fixed production overhead, volume efficiency, volume efficiency, volume efficiency variance. You will compare it with what is the standard hours, standard hours for actual production minus actual hours worked into standard rate. Standard hours for actual production we have already found here, 8,000 into 2, 16,000. We should use only 16,000 hours, 16,000 hours, but actual hours worked was 17,000 hours. Into 100, it is an adverse variance of 100,000. Adverse variance 100,000. Therefore, volume efficiency variance 100,000 and adverse. Now, if we use any basis other than unit basis, the variances will be, volume variance can be further analyzed into capacity utilization and volume efficiency. Okay, I will give a summary of fixed production overhead cost variance. Fixed production overhead cost variance divide into 2 expense and volume. If we use the basis other than unit basis, the volume variance can be analyzed into capacity utilization and volume efficiency. Capacity and volume efficiency. Expense variance, as I said earlier, can you remember, it was 200,000 favorable, 200,000 favorable. Capacity variance, capacity utilization 300,000 adverse, 300,000 adverse. Efficiency 10,000 adverse, 10,000 adverse, 10,000 adverse, sorry, not 10,000, 100,000, 100,000 adverse. Total 400,000 volume variance is an adverse variance. Total fixed production overhead cost variance 200,000 adverse, 200,000 adverse, 200,000 adverse. That is the summary. If we use unit basis, you can't analyze this volume variance into capacity utilization and volume efficiency. You can analyze only expense and volume. If you use basis other than unit basis, you can analyze this volume variance into capacity utilization and volume efficiency variance. That is the completion of total cost variances. We have discussed direct material cost variance, direct labor cost variance, variable production overhead and fixed production overhead cost variance. Those are very important. Those will be tested, definitely they will be tested in the examination. The reason is this is a key lesson in management accounting. Therefore, this will be tested in your examination definitely. Now, we are moving to sales variances. As I said earlier, in the sales margin variance, we will take margin mean profit, net profit, sometimes sales contribution margin, that means we will consider contribution. When we are going to discuss sales margin variances, to mainly sales margin variance can be divided into two. Number one, sales price variance. Number two, sales volume variance. The volume variance can be analyzed into mix and quantity variance. Okay. Okay, first we will look at example number 6, that is related to sales margin variance. First we will read sales margin variance. ABC PLC has estimated following sales and cost information for year 2020. You can read the illustration example number 6 we are in. It is related to sales variance computation. Then after completion of sales variance, we have done all the basic variance analysis. Main areas we have covered. It is very important while I am doing the computation, if you also worked out the computation, then you can practice the question while I am doing the illustration. Okay. Budgeted selling price for product X and Y given 200 and 300. Standard cost per unit 160 and 220. Budgeted sales units 2000 units and 3000 units. Okay. During the year, actual performance were as follows. Actual selling price is given, actual cost per unit given, actual sales units also being given. Remember, actual cost per unit is not required here. The impact on cost changes already adjusted, already computed, already checked in cost variance analysis. Okay, now we will move to number 1. We have to look at about sales price variance and sales volume variance. Okay, I will start with sales price variance. It is very easy. Sales price variance. How to calculate sales price variance? What is the price you expect to sell and what is the actual price you have sold? If you sold more than you expected, anyway it is a favorable variance. Very easy. You have to compare what is the actual selling price and what is the expected selling price. If your actual selling price is greater than what the budgeted selling price, you will result a favorable variance. Therefore, you will compare actual selling price, actual price minus budgeted price. Then this difference is the either favorable or adverse price difference per unit. Then it should be multiplied by how many units you have sold, then multiplied by quantity sold. Quantity sold. Okay, there are two types of product X and product Y. Product X. Budgeted price 200 rupees. Budgeted price 200. Actual price 220. That means your actual selling price 20 rupees more than budgeted. That means favorability. It is favorable. විකුණන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වුණේ 200ට 220ට විකුණනවා කියන්නේ 20 rupees favorable per each unit. How many unit you have made? 2500 units you have sold. Then 2500 into 20, 50,000 it is favorable. 50,000 product X selling price variance favorable. Product Y budgeted selling price was 300. Product Y, their budgeted selling price was 300. Sorry, actual selling, sorry, not sorry. we have to change the price. I have taken the wrong price. Actual price 220, budgeted price was 200, sorry. That's how 50,000 favorable. In product Y, actual price was 290, budgeted selling price was 300. That means 10 rupees lower than budgeted. 300ට විකුණන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙච්ච විකුණන 290ට 10 rupees lower than budgeted. How many units you have sold? 3,500 units. Then 3,500 into 10, 35,000 adverse variance from product Y. Total price variance, how much? Total selling price variance, 15,000 favorable. 15,000 favorable. Total sales price variance 15,000 favorable. Okay, number 2, we will look at sales volume margin variance. Margin variance equal volume margin. You will compare what is the actual sales quantity and what is the expected sales quantity. What you have budgeted to sell and what is you have actually sold. That is sales volume variance. Assume here this example, product X you expect to sell 2,000 units, but actual sales was 2,500. That is the volume variance. Then margin, you have to calculate standard margin here. Standard margin means standard price minus standard cost per unit. Don't use actual cost anywhere else. Actual cost is irrelevant. Actual cost is irrelevant here. Okay, sales volume margin variance, actual sales quantity minus budgeted sales quantity into standard profit margin. Standard profit margin. Standard profit margin will be used if we use absorption costing. If it is marginal costing, remember this change, we will use standard contribution margin. Okay. Now you have to calculate standard profit margin. I will leave space. Standard margin, standard margin, standard profit margin equal standard price, selling price minus standard cost per unit. Standard cost per unit. Therefore, product X standard or budgeted selling price 200, standard cost 160. That means standard margin is 40. Product Y, budgeted selling price 300, standard cost 220. Standard margin is 80. Standard margin is 80. Okay, now we will look at product X. Product X. Actual sales quantity 2,500. Budgeted sales quantity 2,000. That means you have sold more than budgeted. 2,000ක් විකුණන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වුණා, 2,500ක් විකුණුවා. 2,500 minus 2,500 favorable, standard margin 40, then 20,000 favorable variance, 20,000 favorable. Then product Y, Actual sales quantity was 3,500. Budgeted quantity was 3,000. 3,000. 500 favorable, standard margin 80. 80. Then 40,000 favorable. Total 60,000 volume margin variance favorable. Volume margin variance 60,000 favorable. Now this volume variance you can analyze into sales mix and sales quantity variance. Okay, third one, sales mix margin variance. Sales mix margin. Now look at the mixture. Budgeted mixture 2,000 to 3,000. That means 2 to 3 is the mixture, but actual mixture 2,500 to 3,500. You have to convert this actual into standard mixture. That means 3/5 goes to Y, 2/5 goes to X. That means here 40% to X, 60% to Y. That is the ratio. Okay, sales mix, you will compare actual sales quantity, minus actual sales quantity into standard mix. Standard mix into standard profit margin. SM means standard margin, standard profit margin. Okay, leave a space. Current mix, we will take the mix. Mix X 2,000 units, Y 3,000 units, total 5,000. This is the mixture, no? That means 2/5 and 3/5. Okay, ratio as an example, 2,000 divided by 5,000 means this is 40%. 3,000 divided by 50% means 60%. This is the ratio. That's how it will work. This is the mixture, the standard mix. Actual X 2,500 units, Y 3,500 units, total 6,000 units. Now you have to convert this actual mix into standard mix. I will convert actual into standard. Actual into standard. Out of this 6,000, 40% should be X, that means 2,400. Out of this 6,000 units, 60% should be Y, 3,600. This should be the mixture. 2,400 to 3,600 is the standard mixture. This is the actual sales mix. You will convert actual mixes into standard mix. Okay. Now X. Actual sales mix 2,500. Standard mix should be 2,400. It is favorable 100 units. 100 units into standard margin of 40. It is 4,000 favorable. 4,000 favorable. Y actual sales quantity 3500, standard mix it should be 3600. 80 is the standard profit margin, this should be 8000 adverse. Net sales mix variance, how much? 4000 adverse, mix variance 4000 adverse. Adverse, mix variance 4000 adverse. That means you have increased the sales quantity from the product which has a, even though it has a lower profit margin, you have increased the quantity, but here demand has fallen. But we will look at quantity variance. Now in total you expected to sell 2000 from X, 3000 from Y, total quantity 5000, but actual quantity 6000. Anyway, your quantity variance will be higher. That means positive, favorable, because if you sell any total quantity greater than 5000, even you sold total cumulative 5001, it will end up with a positive or favorable quantity variance, because your actual quantity greater than budgeted quantity of 5000 unit. Okay, final one, I will work out sales quantity margin variance equal, you have to compare standard sales mix quantity minus budgeted sales quantity into standard margin. Product X, standard quantity 2400 standard quantity, but budgeted quantity only 2000. That means it has sold more than budgeted. 2000 into 40, that means how much? 400 into 40, 16,000 favorable. As I said earlier, if you sell any unit greater than 5000 total quantity, the sales quantity margin variance will be favorable. Assume 5001, if you convert into this ratio, anyway this variance will be favorable. Why? According to the standard mixture, quantity should be 3600. 600 minus 3000 is the budgeted quantity into 80. 48,000 favorable. Total quantity variance 64,000 favorable. Favorable. Now look at the quantity variance. Even though this has been resulted in negative price variance of product Y, even though your price reduced, it has impact to increase your sales quantity. Ultimately your sales quantity margin variance also 64,000. Your quantity went up. The increase of quantity is higher than reduction in price. That has affected to sales quantity margin variance 64,000 favorable. Even though mix variance negative 4,000, if you take together volume variance 60,000 favorable. Ultimately total price variance also 15,000 favorable. Total variance 75,000 total sales margin variance. That is the end of sales margin variance. Now we have discussed from the inception to now cost variance including direct material, direct labor, variable production overhead, fixed production overhead. Then sales variances we have discussed, sales price, sales volume variance into mix and quantity variance if we sold more than one type of sales or products. That is about sales variance. Next one is the variance reconciliation statement. Now variance reconciliation statement, assume you can prepare either cost variance reconciliation statement or profit variance reconciliation statement. If you are going to prepare the cost variance reconciliation statement, you can compare your expected cost of actual production against the actual cost. If it is a profit variance reconciliation statement, you have to compare budgeted profit against the actual profit. The reason for the variance should be included, then you can reach, compare, reconcile budgeted profit to actual profit, budgeted cost to or standard cost to actual cost. That is called variance reconciliation statement. But remember, when we are going to prepare a variance reconciliation, is the purpose of variance reconciliation statement is to identify what are the causes, what are the factors impacted change in your expected outcome, expected cost or expected profit. While you are doing that analysis, it should be prepared in detail. That means it should be analyzed in detail, mean you have to include all subvariances. As an example, in this particular example, if you are going to prepare a variance reconciliation statement, you should include reason sales price variance, not sales volume variance. You have to include sales mix and quantity variance. Why? You can't include both. You can't include sales volume margin variance with sales mix margin and sales quantity margin variance. You can't include. Why? It will be duplicated. This sales volume variance represent mix and margin, mix and quantity variance. If you include mix and quantity variance, you should exclude sales volume variance. If you include sales volume variance, sales mix and quantity variance should be excluded. Okay. That is very important when we are going to prepare a variance reconciliation statement. That's why when we are preparing a variance reconciliation statement, you need to include all the variances, all the subvariances, all the detailed variances should be included to get a proper understanding, proper control evaluation of the variances. Okay, I will give you a idea when we are going to prepare a variance reconciliation statement, how we have to prepare it. What is the method of preparing it? What is the suitable way to present it? Okay. Now, when we are going to prepare a cost variance reconciliation statement, that cost variance reconciliation statement we have to show expected cost with actual cost. Okay, first I will take cost variance reconciliation statement. Cost variance reconciliation statement. When we are going to prepare a cost variance reconciliation statement, assume you will start with standard cost of actual production. Standard cost of actual production, it will be there. Okay. Then if there is a favorable variance, reconciliation add or deduction will be there. If there is a favorable variance, you have to add or deduct. you have to deduct it. If it is a favorable variance, mean your actual cost is lower than standard cost. Therefore, if there is a favorable variance, you have to deduct. Then if there is an adverse variance, you have to add it back. Why? Your actual cost is higher than standard. Then it will result in adverse variance. ඒ කියන්නේ adverse variance එකක් තිබ්බොත් ඔයාගේ actual cost එක වැඩි standard එකට වඩා. Therefore, you have to add adverse variances. Therefore, add adverse cost variances. Deduct favorable cost variances. Adverse cost variance you will add, favorable cost variances you will deduct. Then finally you will receive actual cost of production. Actual cost of production. Actual cost of production. If you are going to prepare a cost variance reconciliation statement. Okay. If you are going to prepare a profit variance reconciliation statement, number 2, profit variance reconciliation statement. Profit variance reconciliation statement. When we are going to prepare a profit variance reconciliation statement, you will start with budgeted profit. Budgeted profit. You can start with budgeted profit. Then you have to add what? Favorable or adverse variances. If there is a favorable variance, that your actual profit will greater than budgeted profit. Therefore, you have to here totally other round. That means the way you have treated in cost variance reconciliation, adverse variances you have add back, here it is the other way around. You have to add favorable variances. Favorable cost and revenue variance, favorable variances. You have to add. You have to deduct adverse variances. Adverse variances, because adverse variances will dilute your profitability. Adverse variances need to be deducted. Then you will get actual profit. Actual profit. Actual profit. That's how cost and profit variance reconciliation statement will be prepared. Now, when we are going to prepare profit variance reconciliation statement, there are two approaches: marginal costing approach and absorption costing approach. The next slide will explain that. Marginal costing approach. Under marginal costing approach, unit cost will ascertain excluding fixed production overhead. Only variable production overhead cost will be used to determine the unit cost. Fixed production overhead directly charged to the P&L. When we are going to prepare a profit variance reconciliation statement under marginal costing approach, there won't be fixed production overhead volume variance. That is number 1. Number 2, sales volume margin variance. When you are going to calculate sales volume margin variance, we will use standard contribution instead of standard profit margin. Okay. There are 2 approaches in when we are preparing profit reconciliation statement. I will show you what are the changes. This will be tested in the examination. I think we have several times it has been tested. In the absorption costing, we value the inventory at full production cost. Marginal costing, we value the inventory at variable production cost. Okay. Now, these are the changes. Absorption, I will divide into absorption approach, and marginal costing approach. Number 1, first change. Both fixed production overhead expense and volume variance will be computed. Both fixed production overhead expense and volume variance will be computed, but in the marginal costing approach, fixed production overhead directly charged to P&L, only expense variance, budget minus actual, that is all. You are not going to absorb fixed production overhead to the unit cost. Therefore, only fixed production overhead expense variance will be considered. Fixed production overhead directly charged to profit or loss, directly charged to profit or loss. That is the first change, absorption and marginal costing approach. Second change, sales volume margin variance. Sales volume margin variance. Under marginal cost absorption costing approach, it will look like this: sales volume margin variance, actual, okay, actual sales quantity minus budgeted sales quantity, budgeted quantity into standard profit margin, standard profit margin, standard profit margin. Standard profit margin means selling price minus budgeted selling price minus standard total cost, standard cost. Here we will calculate sales volume contribution margin, because inventories will be valued at variable production cost, fixed cost will be directly charged to P&L. Therefore, calculation actual sales quantity minus budgeted sales quantity, into standard contribution margin. standard contribution margin. Look at the difference. Here we have used standard profit margin. Here we have used only standard contribution margin. Those will be different. Those are the two changes when it comes to when you are preparing variance reconciliation statement. Those are the two changes that will happen. Okay. Here we will use absorption costing. There will be fixed production overhead volume variance, but it won't be appear in marginal costing. Sales volume margin variance computation will be differ. Here we will use standard profit margin. Marginal costing will use standard contribution margin. Okay, that is the end of basic variance analysis and variance reconciliation. Now we will move to next one. We are moving to planning and operating variance. Okay. In the advanced variance analysis, now we are moving to planning and operating variance. Now these variances we can analyze into planning and operating. Due to some planning errors or due to some change in uncontrollable market force, due to change in external environment forces, okay, there will be some changes to the original estimates. Therefore, as an example, uncontrollable change in crude oil prices in world market. It is beyond the control of manager of one particular company. Assume there is a company, the CEO may not be able to control the prices in world market. Crude oil prices you can't control. Therefore, under that situation, those are planning variances. Sometimes due to estimation error at the inception, you have realized that there is a planning error, then you have to revise it before execution. Then those are considered as planning variances and they are uncontrollable. There are operating variance. While you are executing your variance, there will be variances with the revised standard. That is, we call operating variance. They are within the control of management. Managers should be able to control those variances. As an example, if we take direct material cost, we can analyze into price and usage. This price and usage variance we can further analyze into planning and operating variance. Planning and operating variance. Usage also we can analyze into planning and operating. Planning and operating. Planning variances can be controlled. No, planning variances are uncontrollable. They are uncontrollable. We call uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. Operating variances are controllable. Controllable. Operating variances are controllable. Generally, when there is a planning variance, original estimate you have to compare with revised estimate. That is called planning variance. Operating variance will occur when actual result differ from the revised estimate. Therefore, when you are going to calculate planning and operating variance, you have to compare with original versus original standard. And then you have to revised. The difference between original and revised, we will know it as planning variance. Planning variance. Then revised result may be different from the actual. That difference we call operating variance. Operating. operating. Original versus revised, it is a planning variance, revised versus actual is an operating variance. Then this both planning and operating together result total cost variance. Total cost variance. Remember, planning variances are uncontrollable, operating variances are controllable. Okay, that's how it will work. Planning and operating variances. Okay, there is an example. Example number 7. ABC PLC has estimated following direct material cost for year 2020 for the estimated production of 10,000 units. Direct material X, Y, 10,000 kilograms will be required from material X, material Y, it will require 20,000 kilograms of material. Okay. Total cost 200,000 and 600,000. Due to the global pandemic and change in manufacturing technology, the cost and usage of material had to revised as follows. Material X and material Y, revised usage and revised cost also being given. During the period 8,000 units were produced, the actual material cost incurred during the period was 198,000 for 9,000 kilograms of material X and 770,000 for 22,000 kilograms of material Y respectively. Calculate material cost, planning and operating variance. Okay, it asks about direct material cost, planning and operating variance. Direct material cost, planning and operating variance. Okay, we will look at that matter. Now you have to summarize the information. Okay. What is the original cost? What is the revised cost? And what is the actual cost? Okay. Look at the original and revised cost given, that is for 10,000 unit. Original standard says original material requirement units X and Y. Original says per unit how many units of material. If you are going to produce 10,000 units, it requires 10,000 kilograms, mean 1 kilogram. Original. Y, it says 20,000 kilograms for 10,000 mean 2 kilogram. Original. Material price. X and Y. Original estimate 10,000 kilograms of material X at 200,000 is the cost, that means 20 rupees. Material X 20 rupees. Material Y 600,000 divided by 20,000 kilograms means 30 rupees. Okay, this is the original cost. Clear? This per unit. Now actual production is how many units we have produced. Actual production 8,000 units we have manufactured. Okay, this is original standard. We will take the revised as well. Revised. Per unit material X. For 10,000 unit material X required 8,000 kilogram mean 0.8 kilogram. 0.8. Material Y 24,000 kilograms divided by 10,000 units 2.4 kilogram. Okay. Material price. Material X for 8,000 kilogram material cost 200,000 කියලා කියන්නේ how much? 25 rupees per kilogram. 25 rupees per kilogram. Material Y 600,000 divided by 24,000 kilogram of material, 25. Okay, both 25. Those are the revised cost. Now actual production 8,000. Actual cost also given. Now we will calculate the total material cost. Material cost per unit. Material cost per unit. X, Y. Material cost per unit. According to original standard, 1 kilogram at 20, it should be 20 rupees. Y, 2 kilogram at 30, it should be 60. Total should be 80 rupees per kilogram. Revised, 0.8 into 25, it should be 20 rupees. 2.4 into 25, 50 and 60. It is also 80. Okay. Now you need to calculate what has happened. If you look at here, original cost per unit 80, revised cost also 80, but the change is the change in price and material usage has changed. Okay. Now now we are going to compare planning and operating variances. Okay, total cost. Total actual production. Actual production 8,000 units. Actual production 8,000 units. If you produce 8,000 unit, what is the original cost for 8,000 unit? Original material cost. Original material cost. Original material cost. 80 rupees per unit for 8,000. It should be 640,000. 640,000. 640,000. What is the revised cost? Revised cost. Revised material cost. Revised material cost, if it is a separate value, it is better, but here it has received same 80. 25 into 0.8, 25 into 20, yes. Same value, there won't be a change. 80 into 8,000. 640,000. The revised cost also not been changed, but in between material price and usage, planning and operating variance will be there. Now that is the revised cost. Actual cost. Actual material cost. Actual material cost. Now you can look at actual material cost is given X 198,000, 198,000, Y 770,000. 770,000. Okay. Total 770 plus 968,000 actual material cost incurred. 968,000. When you are going to calculate planning variance, you will compare original versus revised planning. it is nil. Then operating variance, you will compare revised versus actual. Revised versus actual. Revised versus actual. Revised cost 640, actual 968 mean 328,000, it is an adverse. 28,000 and adverse. This is operating variance. Operating variance. Operating variance. Okay, that's how total planning and operating variance you can work out. Therefore, you have, what is the, according to original standard, what is the cost you expected to incur, then it will compare with the revised cost of actual production. Then actual cost will compare with revised cost, then you can get the operating cost variance. That is example number 7. Okay, now we will use the same example to calculate material price planning and operating variance, material price, material usage planning and operating variances. Okay. I just wanted to include, now I am going to calculate price variances. When we are going to calculate price variance, you will compare actual price and revised price. Okay, actual information we will filled up, actual usage also we will take it up. 8,000 unit we have used 9,000 kilograms mean 1.125 kilogram. Actual usage 9,000 kilogram. Why? 22,000 kilograms, 22 divided by 8 mean 2.75 kilograms. Actual usage. Material price 198,000 for 9,000 mean 22 rupees is the actual price. Material Y 770 divided by 22,000, it is 35. Okay. Now I am going to calculate material price planning variance. I will compare original versus revised. Okay. When I am going to calculate material price operating variance, I will compare revised versus actual. Okay. I will start with number 1. Material price planning variance. Material price planning variance. I will compare original price versus revised price. Into quantity purchased, whatever the quantity you have purchased, quantity purchased. Material X, my original price is 20, but I had to revise it into 25, 5 rupees adverse. I have purchased 9,000 kilograms of material, then 45,000 it is an adverse. 45,000 it is an adverse. Material Y, price change to 30 to 25. Okay. Original price is 30, I have revised it to 25. Actual quantity purchased 22,000. 22,000 in 5, 110,000 favorable. Total planning variance, planning price variance 65,000 favorable. 65,000 favorable. Material price planning variance. Then number 2, material price operating variance. Material price operating variance. Now I will compare revised versus actual, revised minus actual, revised minus actual, then you can get the operating variance. You will compare revised price minus actual price into quantity purchased. Into quantity purchased. Material X, my revised price of material X was 25. Actual price paid 22. 3 rupees favorable, 3 into 9,000, 27,000 favorable. Material Y, revised price was 25, actual price 25 to 35. It has gone up 35. Total quantity purchase 22,000. 10 rupees adverse, operating variance 10 into 22,000, 220 adverse. Then total operating material price operating variance 193,000. 193,000 it is an adverse. $193,000 adverse. Material price planning and operating variance we have discussed. Now we will discuss material usage planning and operating variance. Okay, material usage, we will see it here. In material usage planning variance, you will compare original usage with revised usage. Number 3, material price. Material usage planning variance. Planning variance. Material usage planning variance. Now you have produced 8,000 unit. Remember, if you produce 8,000 unit, what is the material usage based on original standard? Original usage for actual production minus revised usage for actual production into which price? Remember, the impact of price already being adjusted. Here you have to always use original price. Original price. Okay. Material X. According to the original standard, 1 kilogram required each. Actual production 8,000. 8,000 kilograms should have been used. 8,000. Revised usage say 0.8 per unit, then 0.8 into 8,000 unit, it should be 6,400 revised usage. Original price 20 rupees per unit. 20 into difference is 1600 favorable, 1600 into 20, 32,000 favorable. 32,000 favorable. Material Y. Material Y. Original usage 2 kilogram per unit. 2 into 8,000. It should be 16,000 units or kilograms. Revised usage, it has increased to 2.4 kilogram. 2.4 into 8,000. Okay. 2.4 into 8,000. 2.4 into 8,000. $19,200. Standard rate was, or original rate was 30. $3,200 adverse, 3,200 into 30, 96,000, it is an adverse. It is an adverse. Material usage planning variance 64,000 an adverse variance. 64,000, it is an adverse variance. 64,000 an adverse variance. Okay. Next one, material usage operating variance. You will compare revised usage with actual usage. Okay, you have already calculated the revised usage. I will work out it here. Fourth one, material usage operating variance. You will compare revised usage with actual usage into original price. Original price. Material X. Revised usage, you have already found 6,400. 6,400. But actual utilization 9,000 you have used. Original price 20. The variance 2,600 units into 20, 52,000 adverse. 52,000 adverse. Material Y, the revised usage was 19,200, okay, 19,200. Actual usage 22,000 kilograms. 22,000 kilograms. Price is 30. Original price is 30. Then 19,200 minus 22,000, 2,800 you have used more into 30, 84,000 adverse. 84,000 adverse. Total 136,000 adverse. 136,000 material usage operating variance and adverse variance. Okay. Likewise, we have done all the computation, material price planning and operating, material usage planning and operating we have just completed. If I put the summary here, then you can get an idea how to work out those planning and operating variances. Direct material cost variance into 2 price and usage. Price variance divided into 2 planning and operating. Usage also will divide into 2 planning and operating. Okay, material price planning variance 65,000 favorable. Okay, 65,000 favorable. Material price operating variance 193,000 adverse. $193,000 adverse. Then material usage planning variance 64,000 adverse. $64,000 adverse. Material usage operating variance 136,000 adverse. 136,000 adverse. 136,000 adverse. That's how it will work. Planning and operating variance you can split into material price planning and operating, material usage planning and operating variance. We have completed the computation. Okay, we have completed the computation, then you can work out how to deal with planning and operating variance. There's another example for planning and operating variance. You can deal with them at a later. Investigation of variance. When you are going to decide whether variances should be investigated or not, there are some factors we have to consider. Number 1, materiality of the variance. Okay. Assume the cost of investigation is greater than the saving of the benefit of the variance also matters. Therefore, we have to consider which variances should be investigated or not. Number 1, materiality. 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 Materiality mean, assume after you setting the stand, actual performance might be deviate from 0.5, 1% can be deviate if it is a normal variance. Those are mandatory. You can't 100% you can't comply with the stand. There might be small deviation, but those are tolerable if it is small. It is not identical, if you can eliminate. But if it is a significant deviation, with expected outcome, it's a significant amount, then you have to investigate. If it is an abnormal actual performance is too much abnormal, you have to investigate. If it is very high material, then you have to investigate. Otherwise, if it is insignificant variance, you can eliminate. You need not to investigate. Number 2, controllability. Controllability. When you are deciding controllability, you have to investigate on any variance which is operating variances. If it is a planning variance, you should not investigate. As an example, planning variance due to the change in world market prices is the main impact to the variance. Then you can't change that, then need not to analyze it, need not to investigate it. Therefore, you have to look at either it is planning or operating. Third one, the type of standard being used. As I said earlier, inception, there are 4 types of standard: basic standard, ideal standard, attainable standard or current standard. Some standard might be outdated. If the standard being outdated, it is useless to compare the current actual performance with historical performance or historical standard. You have to look at whether which kind of standard which we have been used. If it is ideal standard, if the variance is negative, then you have to flex it into the attainable standard and see whether given actual performance is too much deviated from the expected outcome. Trend of the variance. Ad hoc variances will be there. If continuously it is resulting in negative variance, then you have to look at this indicates something went wrong in our production or something went wrong in our sales. You need to investigate. Interrelationship between variances, you have to clearly identify. Look at, if you purchase cheap material, your price variance will be favorable, but if you looking into the mix and yield variances, yield variance might be adverse. Therefore, you have to look at interrelationship between variances. Not only if you look at the mix variance, it is being adverse, but you are going to investigate it, but it is not suitable. You have to look at interrelationship between price and mix and yield. Okay, when you are going to analyze labor efficiency variance, look at interrelationship between, if you use cheap labor at a lower rate than the skilled labor at a higher rate. Therefore, you have to identify interrelationship. Finally, cost of investigations. The cost saving should be greater than the cost of investigation. If you are spending a huge sum to investigate the variance with compared to the saving or potential benefit from the elimination of such variance, if it is lower than the cost you have incurred, it is not economically worthwhile to do. Okay, then you can get an idea about, that is the complete part of the variance analysis I have summarized in detail, detailed variance analysis. Then you have a basic idea, basic understanding about variance computation. You can do more illustration. You can use example number 10, 2015 June. You can give a question number 6, business level. You can get a complete idea about these concepts. Majority of concepts being tested in 2015 June question. You have to do it and get the understanding. You can get a clear idea how to deal with those kind of situation. Okay, that is the end of this session, standard costing and variance analysis. We will meet up with another session which will be benefit for your preparation of the advanced management accounting paper. Thank you.